Welcome, everyone, wherever you may be. On behalf of Mrs. Dalloway's bookstore, I'm delighted that you could join us today to celebrate the launch of Meera Sriram's latest picture book, A Gift for Amma, Market Day in India, written by Meera and illustrated by Mariona, Cabassa. This slender book is deceptively complex, rich in detail, surprisingly informative, a charming mystery about a tender act of loving kindness. A young girl in India sets off on a mini quest to find a perfect gift for her mother. What will she choose? As she wanders her local market, our five senses are awakened in new and surprising ways as we experience the everyday sights, smells, sounds of her neighborhood, all of which, except for the pigeon, are extremely different from a Bay Area child's shopping experience. School Library Journal and Forward Reviews gave it a starred review, and Kirkus warmly praised it as a culturally authentic journey through a modern Indian market, lovingly told through the eyes of a child. Plus, it has fabulous art. Before I turn this over to Meera, I have a few housekeeping tidbits to share. If you are new to Crowdcast, know that you should be able to hear us, but that we cannot see or hear you. So no need for concern about background noise during the event. You can communicate with us using the chat function on the right-hand side of the screen. If you have any technical issues during the event, feel free to use the chat function, and we will be in touch to fix the problem. And when I say we, I mean Sriram, Meera's husband, who is managing this event behind the scenes. Meera will be asking for your input during the event using the poll feature, which is at the bottom of your screen. Meera will let you know once she's opened a poll, and at that point, she will invite you to answer the poll. We will be taking questions at the end of Meera's presentation using the Ask a Question feature. Feel free to add questions there throughout the presentation. We will be inviting people on screen to ask their questions, but if you would prefer not to be seen on screen, please write off screen following your question. And finally, we encourage everyone to use the buy button at the bottom of the screen to order a signed copy of A Gift for Amma from Mrs. Dalloway's. Meera is happy to personally inscribe your copy as well. And now for the part we've all been waiting for. I'm thrilled to welcome Meera Sriram.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you for the lovely introduction. And thank you, Mrs. Dalloway's, for hosting this event. I truly appreciate it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you're logged in from. And I hope you're all safe wherever you are. I'm very happy to be here and very grateful that you have chosen to spend time with me and our book today. To be honest, I was really debating if I should even have this virtual launch event because it doesn't feel the same as the in-store event that I was fortunate enough to have last year for my debut, The Yellow Suitcase, again with Mrs. Dalloway's. But I thought about it some more and realized a few things. Us being here today and reading a book to our kids means that we are celebrating art and stories and books to lift the spirits of our kids. It also means supporting hardworking independent bookstores like Mrs. Dalloway's recognizing the work of passionate, committed publishers like Barefoot Books, and also celebrating representation, diverse books, and multicultural children's literature. This is also the perfect opportunity and platform for me to thank my critique partners who have grown to become great friends, the supportive writing community, the so supportive writing community, my wonderful agent Tracy at Bookends, who's probably here watching, and my amazing editors, Lisa and Nevere at Barefoot Books. Another special reason is that this is probably the only time that my family and friends in India, my parents, my sister, nephew, cousins, and close friends can actually be part of a book launch event in the US. So I decided to see the silver lining in going virtual, and here we are. So before we get started, like Anne mentioned, my husband Sriram is, as he calls himself, the tech jockey, the TJ, who's going to be behind the scenes pulling this off. Hopefully it'll be glitch-free, but if anything comes up, we just have to play it by the ear. So let's get started. This is the book we are celebrating today, A Gift for Amma Market Day in India, written by Meera Sriram and illustrated by Mariona Cabassa and published by Barefoot Books. It's a colors concept book for young children, ages 3 to 8 years. And it is a story about a little girl exploring a bustling, beautiful, open market in southern India, trying to pick out the perfect gift for her mother. So I'd love to share more about the book, the making of the book, the creative process, the writing process, but I just didn't want to keep talking on and on. So I thought I'll make it a little interesting and interactive. So that's why, as Anne mentioned, we have the polls. You will see a red button that says polls at the right bottom corner of your screen. And I have a polls for a few different things. When you click the polls, like you will see a question come up. It'll have multiple choices. All you have to do is pick an answer. There's no right or wrong. It's not a quiz. No one is evaluating you. We are having fun with it. Your vote is basically going to help me segue into what I'd like to talk about the book. So are we ready? Click the button below, polls. Hopefully you can see the first question. It's 2 truths and a lie, but I have a twist. It's 2 lies and a truth. All you have to do is guess which is the only true statement. The illustrator Mariona and I met in San Francisco last fall to discuss cultural details and colors in the artwork. Number 2, this book on colors describes 10 different colors. And 3, last year I picked up a gift for my Amma from a market in India that inspired the story. We'll wait for a few seconds. And kids, if you're watching, help your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, your caregiver, pick the answer. Just take a wild guess. You see the poll changing. Okay, I think we can end the poll now. We have the result. The most popular answer is, last year I picked up a gift for my Amma from a market that inspired the story. And that is the correct answer. We have a great audience today. Thank you. So, yes, that is true. We started editing this book in January 2019. And the same year, I happened to be in India that summer. And I went around the markets that I often visited as a child with my mom. And I took a camera with me to click tons of pictures to help Mariona, the illustrator, come up with the cultural details with authenticity, the nuances, just to add details to her artwork. And when I was doing that, I actually picked up the exact gift that is in the book for my mother. And my nephew happened to take a picture of that, my mom with the gift, right before I left for the US. And the picture ended up making its way on the last page of the book, thanks to my editor, Lisa. So this book is obviously very special to me for more than one reason. And Mariona Cabassa is the illustrator. She lives in Barcelona. I've never met her before. She's super talented. She has done over 80 storybooks in multiple languages all over the world. Typically, when you work with a publishing house, you never directly meet or have conversations with the editor. So all communication went, with the artist. So all communication went through my editor, Lisa. We exchanged countless emails for months to get the details right. And I really, really, really have to appreciate Barefoot Books, the team, the editors, the design team, for the care and commitment that they have to get it right, the cultural details right. So that was a great experience for me. Okay, let's move on to the second poll, which is, let's see, there you go. So if you click the polls button again, you will see the second question appear, which is, the crucial revisions in the manuscript while writing the story happened in the year 2015, 2016, 2018. We'll wait for a few seconds. Whoa, this one's fluctuating a whole lot. I see someone picking 2014, some of you. Okay. We will soon end the poll. Okay. The popular answer is 2018, and that is indeed the correct answer. So I started writing for publishers in the US around 2014, 2015. And this was one of the stories that I had worked on, like really roughly. I had tried a few different approaches and I had completely abandoned it, aborted it. And then when I started seriously writing in 2017, I pulled it out of the drawer again and started working on it because I had a better grasp of the craft. So I put in more lyrical text. I made it more active. I made it rich, stronger verbs, all of that. But I believe it was in the fall of 2017 that this manuscript was shortlisted for an award or some kind of a recognition at the regional conference, writers conference here in the Bay Area. And the prize for that was a one-on-one, face-to-face meeting with someone from the publishing industry. And that person really pushed me to make it richer and stronger and more vibrant. So I came back and I worked on it for a couple of months. And in January of 2018 is when I had like a real light bulb moment. So originally the manuscript had colors like blue, yellow, red, black, gray. And then when I was thinking of jewel tones, stronger, richer colors, it suddenly occurred to me that certain colors also happen to be very culturally iconic items that you would commonly find in an Indian market. Like, for example, saffron is a color and a spice. Vermilion is a color and a spice. Charcoal, we use it to refer to black, but it's also a fuel that you can see in India. So then I think this made the manuscript really like a fresh take on the colors concept book. Because like a colors in India is almost like a low-hanging fruit. But how do you make it different, make it stand out? And that was sort of the turning point. And then, of course, my critique partners, they wouldn't let me go. They were like pushing me, make it like, we need to feel the energy, like make it more active, like throw in a few hurdles for the girl, like stronger. We want all these senses. They pushed me. And I think by late 2018, it was ready. And of course, my agent came back with more feedback for my story arc. And then it was ready to go out to editors. Just to give you an idea, I show this to kids all the time. So if your kids are watching, this doesn't happen overnight. This is some of the earlier drafts of the manuscript. As you can see, the lovely, lovely notes from my critique partners. So that's how it started. I think this is Serena's notes. Yeah, right here. And then it got a little better, fewer markings. And then this is something that's close to what went into the book. As you can see, Nenet here has written, "This is so frustrating because I'm really nitpicking here." So finally, the hearts got on the page, and then we knew that it was ready to go out. So and this happened over a year, so you can imagine. So that's about the writing process. Let's move on to our third poll and the final poll. If you click the button again, you'll see a new question pop up. This one says, the book includes back matter on markets around the world. Which one of these featured markets have I visited? The Marrakesh Shouks in Marrakesh, Morocco, Mercado de Jamaica in Mexico City, Mexico, Grand Bazaar in Istanbul, Turkey, and El Rastro Flea Market in Madrid, Spain. We'll wait for, oh my gosh, this is so fun to watch. Okay. More people are voting. Maybe I should wait longer. You're really thinking on this one. Okay, I think we will stop the poll. And once again, absolutely wonderful audience. You all know me so well. Morocco, the Marrakesh markets in Morocco is the right answer. So we had some close friends in Berkeley that moved to Casablanca in 2017 to live there for a few months. We visited them, and our family had the opportunity to visit the Marrakesh markets in Morocco. And it was so wonderful in terms of the colors, the action, the liveliness. And it took me back to the markets in India, particularly in Delhi, that I had visited as a teenager. So it was a wonderful experience. But what I really wanted to talk about is the back matter that went into the book. So originally, I had a glossary of all the items that you would see in the Indian market that actually made its way into the book. But my editors and the Barefoot team decided we should open it up more for more learning for older kids. So now, while toddlers can enjoy the read aloud, the early elementary kids can put over the art, then the upper elementary kids can actually learn more about the markets around the world. So that's one of my favorite aspects in the book, is how it expands the window into so many things, right? From like just India to like the universal connection of going to a market to markets around the world. So that was the last poll, and we are done with the poll. Thank you so much for participating and making it fun for me to share about the writing process and the back matter and the art. So I would now have my first read aloud, the first official read aloud of A Gift for Amma Market Day in India. Okay, so for those of you living outside of India, and if you haven't traveled like me, most of us haven't traveled anywhere, this is your chance for the next 10 minutes. All kids watching me, forget about everything. Plant yourself in the midst of all the chaos and the beauty. And then let's follow this little girl along, exploring the market streets in Chennai, India. A Gift for Amma, Market Day in India, written by Meera, Sriram, and illustrated by Mariona, Cabassa. And I have a little surprise for the kids today. So on my website, I have uploaded 2 coloring sheets, 2 spreads from the book. The pink spread, the spread with the sweets and treats, and the indigo spread. Am I holding it upside down? There you go. The indigo spread, the sari spread. So go to my website, www.meerasriram.com. Page about the book. You will see a downloadable PDF for these two sheets. And I hope your kids enjoy coloring them. This is what my son did yesterday. He colored it just like in the book. And my daughter did something different. She just made them colorful saris instead of indigo. So have fun with it. My mom will actually enjoy coloring these papers. So thank you all for staying with me through the book. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you, Anne, for joining us.
That was great, Meera. Thank you so much. I wish I could just get on a plane and go somewhere.
Me too. Me too. I missed my summer trip this year. I mean, we all
Wonderlust.
but we'll stay hopeful.
So does anybody have a question for Meera? There's a comment here from Joe Bursch who's asking for a copy of your book. And we want to let him know that we have copies available at Mrs. Dalloway's. Please visit our website. And Meera will be happy to personalize a copy. So thanks for that inquiry, Joe. Anybody else? Let's see, we've got another question. Hold on. This is from Ray. Ray, would you like to come up to the screen and ask your question? Takes a minute.
Hello.
Hi, Ray.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you. What about you?
Fine. I was trying to get my kids to listen to you. They're a little older, so they aren't as interested in the picture book. And I told my one daughter, I told her, well, you know, you're studying Spanish. This is about the Spanish market too.
Yeah, there are many similar markets around the world.
So, but yeah, I'm thinking this is your second book, but I wasn't sure. Is it?
You're right. This is my second book. My debut was last year. It was called The Yellow Suitcase.
Okay.
And I was fortunate to have had the launch at Mrs. Dalloway's in the spring of 2019. Yes.
Well, that's awesome. I didn't hear the whole part on the markets, but I remember going to a market when I was in Hong Kong when I was a young student. And that was a lot of fun. And so I was thinking markets, you know, which ones can I relate to?
Right. And I'm so happy this book brought back those memories for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess that's pretty much it. Nothing else comes to mind right now, but you have that information on the back, like the back chatter on the markets.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's markets all over the world, just different types of markets. Like we have the farmers market here in the US that we go to. And sometimes there are street carnivals or festivals that really take me back to the markets that I went to growing up. And then there are markets in South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, which are very similar to the markets that feature in the book. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Sorry, Sriram here. Just one thing. So there's also a Spanish version of the book.
That's true. Yeah. Thanks for reminding. Yes, there is a hardcover, paperback, and a Spanish edition too.
Oh, that's good to know. So I can get my daughter a Spanish book.
You can. Absolutely, you can. I don't have copies of them, but they are available at bookstores. You can ask Mrs. Dalloway's, and they'll be happy to get you the Spanish copy.
Well, that's exciting. Cool.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ray. We've got a few more questioners in the queue here. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Next person that has a question is Michael Genhardt. So we'll take a second and bring up Michael.
This takes a minute, huh?
It does take a minute.
Yeah.
Now I just wonder, should we do another question in the meantime?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe we can queue them up while he brings them on.
Okay, let's do that. The next questioner would be Jolene Gutierrez. She'll be up after Michael.
Is that working? Hello.
Hey, Michael. So
Hey.
thank you for being here.
Yes, my pleasure. What a lovely, lovely book. And I love
Thank you.
listening to your reading of it. So
Thank you so
yeah,
much. That
yeah.
means a lot.
So my question is, how different are the markets within India?
Not very different. They could differ in what they are selling at the market, the local foods and the local produce. But, again, in terms of size, there are smaller markets. There are just markets that are run only in the street versus like in an entire neighborhood, like a bigger bazaar, like a flower bazaar maybe, or a fruit bazaar. But in terms of the vibrancy and how integrated they are with the everyday things happening around, like the traffic, the cattle, just pedestrians, in that aspect, in the inherent nature of how these markets operate, they are the same. Just in terms of the scale and what they offer might be different, but it's really very. I've always found it interesting how there are like there's clothing and like home decor and foods and produce all like juxtaposed, and that just fascinates me.
Great.
Thanks
Well,
for your question.
yeah. Your choice of words and the colors, the illustrations, it felt like we were there. So what a fun trip.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. That was the
Thank you.
intention.
And next up, we have a question from Jolene. And after Jolene, we'll have a question from, I believe it's Ilona. I'm just not exactly sure how to pronounce the name. Thank you. I'm about to ask you a question, but I'm waiting.
Do we want to look at the questions on the side? Okay.
There we go.
Okay. It just takes a minute.
Yes.
Hi, Jolene.
Hi, that was so beautiful, Meera. Thank you for sharing. It was just such an amazing exploration of the senses, and it was brilliant, beautiful, and I love that you've streamlined it and made it available for all ages, accessible for all ages. It's something that, as a librarian, I can share with all of my elementary teachers. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
My question is, I would love to just know if you are able to share maybe some of the projects you're currently working on.
Sure. Yeah, of course. I'm happy to. So thanks for asking that question, and congratulations on your launch. I was there, mac and cheese. Thank you so much.
I know you were, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
She's a picture book author as well. I am currently editing my 4th picture book that's yet to be announced. And I am looking forward to the art of the 3rd picture book, which has been announced. It's called Between Two Worlds, The Art and Life of Amrita Shergill. It is a picture book biography on the Indian-Hungarian artist who was a pioneer of modern art in India. And I'm also out on submission for my newest story that I wrote. That's probably the quickest story that I have written. It was during the pandemic. I just wanted to keep busy, and I overworked, and I wrote a couple of stories, and they were the quickest revisions of all. And so I am editing a manuscript with my editor, and I am out in submission, and I have 2 more stories that I can't wait to polish and share with my agent, Tracy.
I'm so excited to hear that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now we have a question from Ilona, and then we'll have one more from A.G. Irving, and that will be it. We're out of time.
Okay. I can't wait to read all the comments when this is.
Yes, it's hard to do both.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I can't focus on that now, but I can't wait to dig into them later.
They're great. They're all super enthusiastic and positive and
So
loving.
It's been such a difficult time for all of us, and it's like the bright spot. I think Sriram is trying to bring Ilona on.
Do you want to answer AJ's off-screen question while we're okay?
Oh,
We have
here we
it.
go. We got her. We got her.
Hey, Meera. I missed you for starters, but I just loved the naturalness of the book being in the voice of the girl, and I was wondering whether that was how you approached it at first, or was that after many revisions, or how you sort of came to that voice.
Great question. It was always the voice of a child. I wanted to give the readers the experience of traveling with a character, like experiencing it, taking it all in through the character, as opposed to just showing this is the Vermilion. I wanted a character, so like for us to make the connection and like almost tag along with the protagonist. The only thing I was debating was if I should have a name for the girl or not, and I, in the end, not have a name. And I'm not sure if it was a deterrent to editors. Like, I don't know, but it worked for me. It worked for Barefoot. It was great. Like, the girl doesn't have a name, and it's just a little girl, and we are tagging along with her through the streets in the market, and that was a conscious choice, and I love it just the way it is.
Yes, us too.
Thank you. Yeah, it's too late for anything else now.
Yeah, right.
Well, thank you, Ilona. And now we have one final question, and this is from AJ and Child, and who prefer not to go on camera, so I'm going to ask it for them. And it's, can you talk a bit about writing the back matter? Did you get much direction from your agent and editor? That's AJ Irving and daughter.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for asking the question, AJ. And I was at AJ's launch too yesterday.
Oh.
Book again from Barefoot Books, Dance Like a Leaf. So the back matter, originally I had only the glossary, and I had worked on the glossary. It was quite a challenging thing because I wanted to share so much, but I didn't also want it to overshare because I had to keep the age in mind, and they had to be definitions, but a little bit more like softer definitions, and kind of give a little bit cultural insight to the kids on why these, like indigo, for instance, is a dye, and where do you use it, or a little bit about it. But the back matter on the markets was mostly my editor and the Barefoots team. Like I said, it was their idea to bring the markets around the world, and it was. I just kind of went over it, edited it, reviewed it, but it was their contribution completely to come up with the back matter on the markets around the world. It was mostly them. The glossary was mine, and they did the markets around the world, and then of course the pictures. And we tried to make it very real. So they actually we mentioned the name of the markets, the Vadaparni and the Mylapore markets in Chennai, where I grew up, that inspired the backdrop of the story.
Oh, very interesting.
Thank you, AJ.
Thank you, AJ and daughter. And that brings us to the end, Meera. Would you want to say anything final, or shall we wrap it up?
It's rough for all of us wherever we are, but just hold on to stories, stay hopeful, celebrate books for our kids, and get through this. We're all in this together, even though we are apart. And stay safe, everyone. And thank you so much, Dallaways, for hosting this. Thank you, Anne. I know you and I had a steep learning curve with Crowdcast and all the tech stuff. So thank you to my wonderful agent, and my editors, my critique partners, and the writing community. Thank you all for joining us today. Very grateful for that. And thank you for all the support on social media and in supporting independent stores and books. And thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Meera. That was so informative. It's a fabulous book. One more time, it is available at Mrs. Dalloway's, signed, personally inscribed, are available via our website online. And one big final thank you to Sriram. We couldn't have done this without him.
No.
I mean, you don't see him, but he is propping us up, the maestro, the puppeteer. He's doing a fabulous job. And thank you again, Meera. That was a very special moment on a Saturday morning here in Berkeley. Thank you. Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Sundays are all the same.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.